Hello and welcome. Silrace here to talk about World of Warcraft. Specifically, I want to make a suggestion for WoW Classic or Classic World of Warcraft to the fine folks developing, to all of you awesome people at Blizzard Entertainment. Background footage just there for your distraction is me leveling a brand new human rogue, just doing Ragefire Chasm. Just for your viewing pleasure there on the background footage. Alright, so World of Warcraft Classic. Frankly, we as the audience, the players and whatnot, we know basically nothing. And I honestly suggest you keep it that way, first of all. Do not put any assets into the actual client, anything of the sort, because those will get data mined out of there. Don't put anything in there until you are ready to reveal the whole thing. How are you doing it, what you are doing. Now, that out of the way, how I would love to see World of Warcraft Classic made is via progression servers. If you don't know what I'm talking about, EverQuest, the fine folks making EverQuest, basically precursor to World of Warcraft as far as MMORPGs go, they have been doing progression servers, and frankly those are interesting. It's a very interesting concept, and I just suggest copying the concept, applying to World of Warcraft. EverQuest has had a lot of expansions. Not all of those expansions have brought a brand new continent and so on, like basically all of the World of Warcraft expansions have brought a brand new continent, all of that cool stuff. So how would I go about doing it? This is my opinion, everybody's welcome to agree and disagree. Just remember, all the numbers can be tweaked. This is just the core idea which I am pitching here. Imagine if one of these servers started in such a fashion that it begins with vanilla World of Warcraft, and 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, something along this later, it moves on to Burning Crusade. Essentially, Burning Crusade expansion gets added after X amount of months. X amount of months after that, Wrath of the Lich King is added. And so on, until we get to the expansion prior to the current one, which will soon enough be Battle for Azeroth. And eventually, afterwards, some months later, the whole thing gets wiped clean and starts anew. Now, before I move on to talking about why wipe and all of that, let me talk about a couple other things you could do, or fine folks at Blizzard could do, make this enticing for people. As soon as the first server is moving on to Burning Crusade or Wrath of the Lich King, add a new one, which starts from the beginning. And if you do time it correctly, there would be one server, and you could add like a third one. And when you do the timing correctly, there would be a server which is basically always in somewhat on the time period which interests certain audience. So basically people could just, play a server up to, for example, the end of the Burning Crusade where Wrath of the Lich King hits, and then gets a new server added, and they're like, okay, I don't want to play Wrath. Let me jump to this new server and play Vanilla and Burning Crusade again. And by the time they are basically done with that, this new server is now in past Cataclysm, Mists of Pandaria maybe. And they're like, okay, I actually like Mists of Pandaria. I may go back and level that character up and continue Mists of Pandaria stuff. Now, what I'm talking about wiping servers clean means just that. Remove all the characters and start anew. This allows people to continuously do the cycle of enjoyment through the expansions, or simply playing that one expansion they really enjoy. And you could even reward people for participating in all this. So many feats of strength or other achievements, not necessarily even feats of strength, just achievements labeled in this category. Participated in progression servers, and through this and this and this and this, you could do that. You could give transmogrification sets, which are only available once you finish a certain expansion set, or raids in a certain expansion set, and so on. Titles, mounts, other collectibles. It doesn't have to have an in-game benefit necessarily, in this fashion of like being, upgraded gear, but all of these cool little things would add up. It would make other people than just those who have a nostalgia to certain expansion, actually go and try them out. Because my fear is that if vanilla World of Warcraft is brought back, let's just say vanilla World of Warcraft as it was, with all the good, all the bad. How many people who are coming new into World of Warcraft would actually go there and play a lot of it? If you know and have been playing this game in vanilla like I have, you knew and know that there are problems there. How many of these brand new players being drawn into World of Warcraft would go there and play just purely vanilla for years and years and years? Instead of playing what we have on the live right now. Because the live is so very polished compared to what vanilla was. I honestly believe classic World of Warcraft should be something more, something different, something else than just a rehashed copy of vanilla. And I think this progression system might be the best way to go about it. But that is just purely my opinion. Let me know in the comment section what you think, how would you do it, and well, anything else which comes to mind. Thank you very much for listening, mostly listening. If you enjoyed the background footage, that all the better. Anyway, thank you very much for listening.